Well, we knew this was going to happen, that Kyle Rittenhouse was going to walk free from the killings that he carried out. From day one, it was very obvious that the judge was completely on Rittenhouse's side, repeatedly interfered with the investigation in order to determine whether or not he had provoked the actual situation. That when someone traveled to another state, illegally carrying a weapon, going into a situation, posting on social media beforehand that they were going to kill people, brag on camera that they didn't have non-lethal or less lethal, that they only have lethal means, intentionally provoke an incident with someone by pointing a gun at them, shooting someone, is somehow an act of defense. It is very clear that this judge, who, I'm sure it's not a coincidence that was appointed by Donald Trump's administration, let this kid walk away after having essentially committing murder. It is also important to keep in mind that not only was this blatantly a one-sided judge who violated his oath of office by doing so several times throughout the course of the actual trial, made racist remarks. The one about Chinese food, etc. It should also be noted that the Department of Homeland Security was found putting out memos to its people telling people to phrase the incident in a certain way that was supportive of Rittenhouse. Even though I'm sure that if you wanted to keep the country secure, you would want to discourage vigilantism. So the government has already given its blessing for this situation. That Kyle Rittenhouse, despite the fact that he very obviously looked like he carried out 2 murders, is going to walk free. What's truly disturbing to me is the leftists that have been defending him, ignoring the basic facts of the case and even promoting the conspiracy theory created by the judge that somehow, if you use the zoom function, new pixels are added in that deliberately change the image. That's not a real thing. That's just the regular zoom function. And the fact that leftists have been so adamant, and so many of them, I should not say leftists, many leftists have been so adamant in defending him, they have opened themselves up to the accusation of being closet fascists. And this is essentially a good criticism to make, because they are defending a fascist. A kid that ran around talking about how he was in a militia and how he was going to kill BLM, Antifa people. I mean, it should be very clear that he had talked about killing anti-fascist protesters, and then you support him when he kills anti-fascist protesters. That is pro-fascist, whether you like to admit it or not. But it's interesting looking at the mental gymnastics used by many of his defenders, not just on the right, but more specifically, I'm talking to the ones on the left. I mean, the right's going to be the right. They're going to defend him no matter what. They're going to make him out to be Jesus. That's fine. You know they're going to do that. My problem is with the left that are supposed to be against him that are pushing this. They keep saying, well, one of the guys that he shot were pedophiles. Except that only one was, which they dishonestly try to phrase it as both of them were. So that shows you what kind of intellectual integrity that they really have in that situation. Or the fact that he already shot someone and people were trying to disarm him from killing even more people and then killed the people that were trying to disarm him. So somebody tried to take away a gun from who is, in my opinion, given all the evidence, is a fascist, and then attack the people who tried to disarm the fascist who had just shot somebody. That is a pro-fascist position, whether you like it or not. And that is exactly what this is about. And I know you're going to get angry about this part, but I firmly believe that this happens because of the very nature of the first world itself. As the social situation continues to disintegrate, it was Lenin who theorized during the Second International that the advanced industrialized countries, or what now would be considered the first world, in times of crisis tend towards fascism, which we have seen this pattern repeated throughout history, not just with Nazi Germany. So isn't it wholly appropriate that these so-called leftists start outing themselves as supporting someone who is, in my opinion, a fascist, given all their previously stated positions and actions? Now, I hate to make this about first worldism, but the phenomenon is there. The leftists defending Rittenhouse for killing anti-fascist people is a real thing. And this does somewhat explain it. Because it's very hard to justify supporting fascists when you claim to be against fascism. I know for some so-called Marxists that comes along very easily, and you spend time having discussions with them, being their friends, when you know very well that they're going to try to kill you. So in the end, just remember what you supported. You just gave the go-ahead for fascist demonstrators, militiamen, whatever have you, to go ahead and murder anti-fascist activists. You support that by supporting this decision by the judge. You've just given them the okay to do it. Now think about that the next time you go to a protest and you're saying how you're anti-fascist, whatnot, and see fascists coming around the corner with a gun. You enabled them by doing it. And pointing to the disgusting unethical actions of one person that is not related to the matter of protest that was going on, being the guy who was a convicted pedophile, that doesn't justify murdering anti-fascist activists. If Kyle Rittenhouse had shot the guy because he was a pedophile, that would have been very different. But that's not what he did. He deliberately shot an anti-fascist activist, and that should be very blatantly obvious to everyone. The time is coming where you're going to have to make the choice. Are you going to follow this American exceptionalist closet fascism, which leads directly to fascism, is straight up pipeline? Or are you going to be a leftist and rebel against an unjust system? Because as America continues to degenerate, you're going to have to make a choice. You're not going to be able to sit on the sidelines, because there's going to be no sideline left to sit on. You're going to have to pick a side. And which side in history you choose to be on, that's up to you. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.